Hello, hello. Yeah, good, good. Okay, my good friends. So, well done that you have made it. This is a powerful morning indeed. Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask you if we have someone from pre-intermediate and intermediate level, like pre-inter. I'm mostly interested in pre-inter. Maybe there are some beginners or elementaries. I don't know what they would do here. Intermediate, year one intermediate, pre-inter one, pre-inter two, yeah? Pre-inter. So, okay, a lot of pre-inters here. Mm-hmm. Uh, Inters and printers. Okay, okay. So definitely today I will use a little bit of Russian, if you don't mind. I mean, because I already have heard that some people, when I speak too quick, they do not get some elements, and that is very sad for them and also for me, because we need to work on complete comprehension and complete understanding. And this topic of today, it would be extremely important, you know, especially for pre-inter level and intermediate level, because that is the basic. Okay, so from time to time I will use some Russian, maybe to make some examples, to make some explanations, and that would be it. And I don't need headphones. So, because you don't really cannot answer to me. Okay, so my good friends, our topic for today would be uh, difficulties of English translations. Yeah, so it is a very general topic, and believe me, there are two news for you. Yeah, so first is that I would really love to make a lecture on the theory of translation. Yeah, but theory of translation, which is such a subject, that linguists study, it is extremely interesting for me and for other specialists, I should say, but extremely boring for people who do not like professionally work with it. So theory of translation is very, very, very boring for most of the people. So that's why I will not give you boring stuff. We would just talk about some practical elements. Yeah, good. So let us start from the phrase that I have added in this slide. So translation is at best an echo. Yeah. So uh, translation is an echo of the meaning. Yeah. So you know that when people communicate, when you communicate with anyone, even in your mother tongue, for example, in Russian, yeah. So you say some things, and the other person, he can understand it in his own way. Yeah, like for example, you know that man-woman relationship, and when man says something, his woman can interpret it in another way, like honey, how do I look? Oh, like you're not getting fatter. And she said, oh, so you mean I'm fat? Yeah, so this kind of situations, and so on and so forth. So even in Russian language, you have a lot of difficulties with comprehension, with understanding. Yeah. So, question is now, how many of my speech now have you understood? From like 10% to 90%. Just to test if I should use more Russian. 110. Oh my God, 10%. That's powerful. Everything 80, 95. 80, everything. Okay, okay, that is good. So most of the people got 100. Oh, 100. Okay, so no need to use a lot of Russian. So we will continue in this speed and this tempo. So uh, we deliver our ideas through speech. Speech is just, like a bubble of meanings. Yeah, so you try to give your bubble of meaning to the other guy, so he would understand what to do. So definitely there is a lot of problems of interpretation. Yeah, so we will talk about it later. Let's go to our plan for today. definitely you can see what points will be covered today. So what is translation? Yeah, so we all hear like translate this, translate that, but what is translation? Then we will talk a little about the differences between translator and interpreter. So in Russian, there's not much of difference between these two terms, but in English, it is quite essential. Yeah. Then we will talk about the levels of perception. So what is level of perception? I will explain later. So we will talk about the levels of analysis of the text. Then we will make a little point about the algorithm of translation. So what should you do so you would understand the text better? Yeah, what should you do and what should you not to do? It's with do's and don'ts in translation. Yeah, and the last point would be about the instruments. So professional translators and interpreters, they use it, and I see no obstacles for you to use them too. So I will give you some I think useful links. Yeah, they're already in the presentation, so you could use them. Okay, good. So let us go to the first slide. Yeah, what is translation? So it is a general and common definition that translation is the communication of the meaning, yeah, from the source language, yeah, basic language, for example, English, to by the means of equivalent, yeah, equivalent target language text. So what does it mean? So you need to make meaning out of other language, yeah, using only the instruments of your own language. So what kind of difficulties can be found there? Yeah, first of all, it's like number one, languages, they have different history and they have different instruments. For example, some languages, they do not have some elements of grammar. Yeah, for example, I know some Slavic languages, they don't have elements of adjectivity. Yeah, so for example, in Romanian language and also in Ukrainian language, you cannot say сделанный. То есть по-русски фраза звучит сделан в России, да, сделанный какой. В украинском так сказать нельзя. Они могут сказать только тот, что сделан в Китае. Все, другой фразы альтернативы не существует. Хотя языки два славянских языка, они в принципе очень родственные. So, if you use English, yeah, you have also some structures that you cannot take from Russian. Yeah, for example, double negation, yeah, двойное отрицание. В русском, в принципе, фраза может иметь место, когда мы говорим «я не хочу ни чая, ни воды». So in English, it is an absolute absurd because it would be a double negation. Yeah, I don't want neither tea nor water. Yeah, so double negation is just a very rude breaking of rules. Not good, not good. Okay, so second part, what в русском, в английском. So it would be a maybe it would be very specific cases. If you will share the link, I would appreciate. So you know, for example, uh, what you can and what you cannot do in English. Yeah, some standards in language, they always change. Yeah, for example, you may know that in Russian language, кофе это он мужского рода, and it has been so for thousands of years. But because people started using coffee оно all the time, they came to a coffee shop and asked, дайте мне одно кофе. Yeah, and so nowadays dictionaries, they write, yeah, coffee, he, он, but okay, оно тоже. Yeah, so you change the language by the use. So I'm not surprised that you may find an article about that says, yeah, you can use double negation. Why not? Also, for example, you know this in English language, you have tag questions. Yeah, you all know the tag question. Yeah. That is absolutely true because it is a part of a structure neither nor. Either or, neither nor. There is no double negation, Ruslan. So, tag question. You know what is a tag question, my good friends? Could you remind me? Give me an example, small example. What is a tag question so the others would recall? So, question tag. So we have been speaking about it in one speaking class. Yes, yes. Oh. First of all, Irina, that is wrong sentence. I would say you why, because it should be statement. So, my good friends. Oh, no. Oh my God. So you don't. Oh. Did you? Yes, Nina is correct. My good friends. Oh, I see. We should make one grammar webinar dedicated to tag questions. So you use positive statement plus tag. For example, let's check like, are you happy, aren't you? That is wrong. You are happy, aren't you? Yeah. Have you ever been? George is also wrong. You have been to Germany, haven't you? So, question tag. Oh my God. Yes, the weather is beautiful, isn't it? That is correct. So, you make a statement. So, it would be like, I like coffee. Yeah. And then you add a tag. So, definitely you do not make double question. Like, uh, do you like coffee? Do you or don't you? Yeah, it's a double question. So question tag is about statement and question. Negative, positive, positive, negative. Okay. So that is good that we have find out that a lot of people have some troubles with it. But what I was going to emphasize about translation. Yeah. So and yeah, that is right, Meta. So you know that tag question construction in the sentence, for example, I am happy. Yeah, I am happy. Am I not? I am happy. Am I not? So that would be grammatically correct tag question. That would be absolutely fine. But Americans, as we know, they are quite grammatically lazy. So they wanted to make a contraction. So contraction. You know what is contraction? For example, it is, it's, are not, aren't. So making something shorter is called contraction. So they couldn't make contraction of I am not. Yeah, because it is very short already. You cannot make amn't. Yeah, so that would be quite not good. So they have found something that is already contracted. Aren't, are not. Yeah. So if you go to America, you would definitely hear a lot of I'm happy, aren't I? Yeah. So in this case, I am happy, aren't I? So definitely grammatically, it is absolutely wrong. You know why, yeah? So that shouldn't be explained. But in living speech, you would find that like in 90% of all the cases. And in America, but you will never find it in legal documents, in official documents, in briefings, in books, if it is a book, like a high-level book, not just a spoken language. Yeah. So when you start to translate this, it is quite odd for you. Yeah, you know that tag question, in this case, it should be am I not? But you find something that, oh, aren't I? So native speaker, yeah, American native speaker, he used that. So it should be right in a way, but it demands a lot of analysis. So that's why, yeah, translation is always a game. It is always an interpretation. Sometimes you should lose some details, yeah, from the text to get the impression. And as far as you are not professional translators and you are using translation to understand the text for yourself, yeah, you will play this game a lot. You know, when I have been in studying English in school, yeah, my teacher, she said that she couldn't find out, like, how do I translate texts without additional dictionary, yeah. So all the children, they used a lot of dictionaries, I didn't, yeah. So she caught me one day, yeah. So usually, how do you translate text? You have a text, you have words that you don't know, you write them down, you translate them, then you analyze. So this is called the language sense, yeah. So you just feel that it is should be so, it should be translated in this way by the narrative, yeah, by the background. And she understood that I could not know up to 40% of words of the sentence, but because of the meaning of the others, I've made pretty okay sentences, so on the decent level. So she caught me on this and she started to check every single word so I would know every single meaning of every single word. So that was funny part. So you see, when you're making translations, you don't really need 100% of words. You just need a good sense of language and you should just understand the general idea. Yeah, sure. In vast, like, context was the main part, so that is also one thing that we will talk about. So let's go to differences, yeah, between translator and interpreter, yeah. So definitely those are two different professions in the world, but in Russian language, again, we are faced with the difficulties in translation. We do not do the difference. We have переводчик, yeah, so переводчик, that's fine for us. But in English language, there is a very huge difference. So translator is written language, interpreter is spoken language. Yeah, so that's why it is a very funny situation when people start to argue, like, who is better? Yeah, I'm a translator. Yeah, so I'm an interpreter. So we can see there. So translator, he writes words. Yeah, his result. Yeah, so it is delayed in time. So for example, you are given a homework that you should translate. So you come home, have some tea, then you start making some words, and then you forget about it, and then you come to a speaking class and you say, "Oh, David, sorry, I had no time. I was so busy with my cat." So definitely you have some gap in time to do your homework, yeah? So interpreter, he not only works with living speech, yeah? He works in a real time, so doesn't have a lot of like time to think about. He just uses only things that he have now in his mind, so he do not have an access to dictionaries, to online translators, to his friends, and so on. So just things that you have in your head, yeah. Then translator and interpreter difference is in target language, yeah. So what does it mean? Translator should not be fluent, yeah, fluent speaker in his language, yeah, in his own language. He should only know good, like, target language. So some grammar structure he may not speak even, like, on a good level, yeah. He always works with grammar structures, grammar constructs, and so on. But interpreter, especially when he works as a simultaneous translation, yeah, both side translation, so he should have proficiency in spoken language of both sides, yeah. So in, like, Russian and English. I know some people that it's kind of strange, but you will understand that they know English better than Russian. Yeah. So in a sense, they know more rules. They have more expressions in it because they study it. Yeah. But they don't really have that vast range in other languages. So in when you make interpretation. Yeah, you should be master of spoken language of those two languages. Yeah. Then we have already spoken about dictionaries and on the spot. So on the spot means right now. So interpreter is concentrating on the moment. So, and examples. Yeah, so translator works example is a legal contract. So you have time, you have your legal advisor sometimes, yeah, and you make a contract. For the interpreter, it's a business meeting where he is making contact between like Japanese delegation and Russian delegation. Yeah, so he makes double translation, two sides translation. So why am I talking so much about it? Yeah, you might wonder. Yeah, but how would it help, yeah, us in our life? These two sets of skills, they are completely different. Yeah, so they are separated. And you, as an English learner, you make two jobs. Yeah. I suppose a lot of you know and you feel that, for example, when you are making some tests, yeah, A, B, C, D, and you make some writing, you feel like God. When it comes to speaking, me happy, very. Yeah, so you get down, so you have good skills as a translator maybe, yeah, but you don't have good skills in entrepreneurship, yeah, so you cannot make translation very quick and without dictionary, yeah? Some people, they have the opposite, yeah, so you know some guys that speak pretty well, yeah, fine, so they have good level of fluency and understanding, but when it comes to strict grammatical constructs, when it goes to some idiomatic language or differences in time, yeah, in tenses, yeah, what is the difference? Like, I had lived in London, I have been living in London, I lived in London. So the guy who has good speaking skills, he wouldn't probably like uh, I was at London at that time, so that would be it. Yeah. So definitely you work in those two modes. When you make your homework, you work as a translator most of the time. Yeah, you write, you can Google, you have some delay in result. When you come to speaking class, you are an interpreter. You speak in real time. You don't have a book of words that, yeah, I should say them. Yeah. And so we work like in and yang in those two modes. So definitely it is important to understand that you should develop each of them and also that they are separate. If you are a god of translation, it doesn't mean that you are good in speaking and speaking interpretation. If you're good interpreter, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are good in translation, like in making things very accurate. Yeah. So there is even one joke, you know, about it's even you can Google the video in YouTube. Yeah, we had a President Yeltsin. You know this guy, yeah? A lot of fun. So Yeltsin went to America to meet Bill Clinton, and they had a press conference. And Yeltsin, he said some phrase in Russian. You may Google it. Yeah, Yeltsin, and Russian translator. He translated it. Yeltsin said something like "Вы проиграли," то есть все, вот вы проиграли. I don't know what did he mean, but his translator, he translated it like you have disastered. Yeah, so disaster, it means a failure. Disaster means something bad. But in English language, and especially like in spoken American, you are disastered. It's mean mm, you shit your pants. Yeah. I'm very sorry for a rude language, but he translated it like вы обосрались. So Clinton almost died of laughter because you understand that you cannot use this type of language in official meetings. So that was definitely a mistake. But it was so funny. Like they just died laughing, and it is on YouTube. So Yeltsin and you are disastered. You may Google it, you'll enjoy immensely. So this is how important is translating, interpreting, yeah, living language, because he maybe was, you know, caught on guard, off guard, this interpreter. So you are disastered. So the sad situation came up. Okay, so let's go to some levels of perception. So definitely I will use some of my tools to make it more visual. Yeah. So first of all, let's go to the levels. You see here some graph, yeah, that will show you. For example, this is the sentence. Yeah, I should have this text translated, and now my teacher is getting outraged with it. Yeah, so you have some levels. So that would be level 1. Yeah, thank you, Ruslan. You're very kind. So now half of our group will go to YouTube and watch this video, not looking at the webinar. Okay, so you have level 2 and you have level 3. So what does it mean? So when you look at this sentence, your brain starts to analyze it in different ways. So beginners and elementary students, their usual problem, they are stuck on level 1. Yeah. So how we can imagine, how does it work? So let's imagine that you are a bug, some kind of a bug. Yeah, жучок. So you are going down on the grass. Yeah. So what can you see? You don't look from afar. Your vision point is here. Yeah. So you look from this point. So you, like, red dots are like your perspective, your eyes. So you work with words one by one, one by one. I это я. Should это должен. Have это иметь. Then this этот. Text текст. Translate переводить. Translated переведенный. Yeah? Или so you got the idea. Yeah, so you go one by one. So your vision is very narrow. So you're like a bug, you see each one of the words. So this is a big problem for people who they begin learning English and they stay at level 1. So they analyze each single word like as it is. So there is no system. Yeah, so you just have a bag of words and you need to make a sentence. У вас есть мешок, вы из него собираете какой-то puzzle. Yeah? So you do not make some system, some logic in it. So you just make something from words like a Frankenstein monster. Yeah, you make this words like this. I should have to be text translated. Okay, that will do. So definitely the next level, when you get higher, yeah, on the English language scale, so you get some of second level English. Yeah, so what do I call second level? Yeah, second level is when you start making logical blocks. So you know that in English language we have a lot of phrasal verbs and expression, and oh my god, these prepositions, they're just killing us. Like yesterday I had a student, she's early pre-inter, yeah, optimistically, and we were speaking about take off. Yeah, so take off consists of 2 elements, take and off. She was on the level 1, so she was extremely confused. Take, брать, off, от. So that was extremely senseless for her. Yeah. Then she started to think to take off. And she had heard some phrase, take off your clothes. So she said, yes, take off means снимать, раздеваться. She was so happy. Yeah. And that was level 1 plus experience. Yes, so she doesn't know the meaning of this combination, but she had some experience. That is already good. But I am like on the level 3, so I said, no, 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 no. It's not раздеваться. She said, why? I have found in Google to take something. I said, we are reading about planes. Yeah, so plane, airplanes. When they take off. Yeah, so that is взлетать. So that was definitely a problem for her. Yeah, so when you have second level, you analyze blocks and some structural elements like take off, put on, and so on. Yeah. So in this text there is outraged with. Yeah. So definitely you would notice this part, outraged with. Yeah. So you start to make blocks. Yeah. Maybe you will also notice. Yeah. So you will also notice some tense construction. Yeah. So if you are a beginner and if your eyesight is narrow, you may start analyzing should, have. So this doesn't make sense. But if you have level 2 vision, yeah, of the text, you will remember, so should, have, and then translated. Yeah. So this is all one construction. Yeah, one construction. So definitely you will notice it. You will notice that this is related and you will make sense of it. So this is like level 2 view, level 2 view. So you may find common elements in the text. It doesn't matter where do they stand. Yeah. So then you will go to level 4. Yeah, so definitely it is the one of the highest levels in English. So when you translate something, oh, that is not the color I need. So when you translate something, you may look not only on some words as they are, but also you look at the general structure. Yeah, you start to analyze the positioning of the words. Yeah, just a brief example. Yeah, I have already told some people that you may not know some word. Yeah, the meaning of some word, but you may analyze where is the place of this word. Yeah, so for example, you know that I is a subject because it stands in front. Yeah, it is before, it is a statement, so then subject is the first. Then you would have what? You would have some verbs of tense. Yeah, so definitely you will analyze should have. It's not just have as a possession, it's have as a tense element. Yeah, so you should have. Then you have some this text. Yeah, so this stands before text. Yeah, before, so it shows the characteristic. Yeah, of the word behind it. Yeah, so you know that adverbs they stand after verbs. So this rabbit runs fast. Yeah, so fast is after runs. So you know that fast now is not used as an adjective. Yeah, it is used like an adverb. Like how fast? Fast. So you see, you may not know the meaning, but when you know where it is situated, you can see the picture. You will know what function does it mean. And also, it is related with general perception of the sentence. People who are on the level 3, they do not start to translate the sentence until they have read it to the bottom, to the end. Jesus, it's like the recommendation for all students in the world and all the levels too. Make a good habit. Finish the sentence, because you know when you go to upper levels like intermediate and upper intermediate, you start to feel cool about yourself and you're like, yeah, I don't need to read to the end of this sentence, I should just, yeah, and you start to make translation without reading whole sentence, like, and now my teacher, И сейчас мой учитель is getting, добирается. Yeah, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. So you should read till the end, because sometimes it is related also with that English is a Germanic language. Yeah. So, in German language, they have very odd grammatical structure. I mean, so all the elements of the sentence, they can be mishmashed. So it is a good practice for people who study German too. They know how important it is to read it till the end. So try to keep that in mind. When you read the sentence, you must keep it in mind, like all the elements of it, because sometimes, we put some interesting words in the end. Yeah. Just to make a simple example is rather difficult, but for example, you are making a tag question, yeah, the thing that we have done today. And if you start to translate it without a finish line, yeah, you will see a statement. So definitely that would make a sense at the first seconds that you are reading just a statement. And then you have didn't you? Haven't you? And oh my God, that is a question. It's not a statement, but you have lost the intonation. Yeah. So if you read a question like a statement, it is internationally wrong in intonation. So what do I need to add in this case? There is the last level that is considered to be top of the top. Yeah. So definitely it is level 4 or godlike level. Yeah, so it is even above this. So levels perception is level 4, and it is I will use a very strange way to show it. So it is a cultural background. Yeah, so that is definitely, oh my God, it is so ugly. I'd better write it. So it is, no, I will not write it, sorry. So it is culture. So what does it mean? When you make a translation, yeah, it is okay if you know grammar. It is okay if you know all the meanings of every word. It is even okay if you know idioms. You can know every idiom in the world. But if you do not know the culture, yeah, if you do not immersed in the culture of language, your translation would be not accurate, at least. Yeah, at its best. So you know that we have on the last webinar or last speaking classes, we have spoken about humor. Yeah, so humor is the thing that sometimes you should know the background. Yeah, you should know the story. That's why some jokes made in Russia, they are funny for Russians, but Americans, they wouldn't. They what? Hmm? So sometimes you need to know culture and be culturally involved in this language, so you would make a good translation, an accurate one. So one of the highest levels of translation is translation of literature. Yeah. So when you make a translation of some piece of literature, sometimes if you are very good translator, I mean, like in brackets, you should try to deliver this message as accurate as it is. Yeah, so word by word. So for example, Harry Potter. Yeah, this novels by John Rowling. Yeah, so do you recall the faculties of Hogwarts? Could you give me some faculties of Hogwarts, if you recall? You may use any language, Russian and English. So it would be just fun to see if you, what would you write? Yeah, maybe someone. That's good. That is correct. One of them was. Yes. Mm-hmm. What else? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the last one? Yes, exactly. Alex is correct. So you see there a very interesting situation, yeah? When translators, they have chosen different methods for different faculties, yeah? So we will use some examples, yeah? Pufendui would be in English Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff. Название многие не переводятся. Стоит ли переводить Hufflepuff? Puff, 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 yeah, puffs, the word puff, означает пухлый, пушистый, такой вот весь, знаете, как кот зимой. So, they had a choice to give you a better feeling, yeah, как говорящие имена у Гоголя, то есть, чтобы дать лучшее ощущение, a better feeling of the essence of the faculty. They didn't write Hufflepuff, yeah, in Russian. They didn't do that. They have found a Russian word that sounds like poof, poof, oh, Dolgopoops, yeah, exactly. Exactly, long bottom, Dolgopoops. So they are translating the elements in the same thing. Когтевран, it would be in English raven claw. So a claw of a raven. Они перевели его. Коготь. Коготь, ворон, старорусский вран. Ворон. Коготь ворона. Когтевран. Yeah, so definitely it is a big part, it is essential part of English culture. But at the same time, Slytherin, yeah, slither, значит ползать, лазить, передвигаться как червь. Slither. Они поставили как Slytherin, yeah, потому что в русском Slytherin, слизкий, земноводный. It has some feeling, yeah, of слизкий, yeah, so slither, ползание на четыре как змеи, they slither. So you see that the main idea is not to give you the best, the exact translation, is to give you the essence, yeah, the picture that you would have in your mind. So definitely, when you make a translation on a high level, yeah, or like cultural level, you need to make analogies and you used to use elements of your own language, yeah, as you would have it in English. Let's talk about translating some elements of Snape? Oh, I don't know. I don't know every name of it, but you may Google if you're interested. That would definitely be cool. I really believe that Snape means something. It's like it's too powerful of character not to get a meaning of this word. So I know that snap, it means like, oh snap. It's like, oh shit. Oh, it's like the explanation of surprise and something bad happens. Oh snap. The Americans, they. Yeah, exactly. Thunderbolt. So that is a translation. So the thing is that when you translate, try to make an interpretation in your language. Yeah, so as it would be in your language. But some people, they get too involved in this process. Yeah, so some people, they start to translate sentences, very close, близко к тексту, as they say, близко к тексту. So it is also would be a mistake. Yeah, so the difficulty, yeah, the main difficulty is to combine all these levels. Level one, yeah, the right meaning of the word, yeah. So you should use words in the meaning that is most close to it, yeah. You know that meaning of the words is very important to give emotion, yeah. В новостях можете наблюдать пример, когда Первый канал смотрите, когда наши, то это обязательно бойцы, это защитники, да? Если это не наши, это обязательно молодчики. Это слово, мне кажется, уже давно из употребления вышло, но его используют. Молодчики. Эти молодчики, да? Если мы используем оттенки, да, они шли, они браво шагали. Это наши. Их ковыляли, ползли. So, every element of the language, yes, the meaning of the word. Шпион, разведчик, that's right, that's good, a good example. So, you give the impression, yeah, you give the feeling with the word. So, level 1 is very important. Level 2, yeah, level 2. When you analyze elements of the structures, yeah, когда мы по логическим блокам начинаем разбивать. То есть, put on, не класть на, а одевать. Take, run out, не выбегать наружу, а что-то заканчивается, да, we have run out of gas, у нас закончился бензин, и так далее, и так далее. So, it is very important too, so you would make sense, yeah, so of some words that they are not common together. So, some link of the words has more meaning than just the sum of these words, yeah. And then third level is very important too. When you start to analyze grammatical structures, when you start to look at the situation in general, yeah. So in general, you have the vision of all the structure. So that would help you to make a right tense, yeah. So you know that. So this is. Как же перевести? Шли. Вот предложение простое. Вчера я читал книгу. How would you translate it? Вчера я читал книгу. Конкретный момент, времени не указан. Ну, кроме вчера, да? Вчера я читал книгу. I read. Так, Игорь, Алекс. А-та-та. Ох, написал. Читал и написал. It's a big difference, Valerie. So Ruslan, yesterday I have been reading a book. Yes, Ruslan, my good friend, a book. Yesterday I was reading a book. So you see, it is sometimes very tricky how to translate, and all the sentences, yeah, you have given me, they have slight, не надо, sorry, don't be. It is better to change the word on another word than to lose an article. So every sentence that you have made an example of have its own flavor, yeah, own flavor. For example, если бы я хотел сказать, что просто факт, вчера я прочитал книгу, да, вчера прочитал книгу, все. Я бы использовал I read book, yeah, I read a book yesterday. Но я сказал вчера я читал книгу, да? Хочется ли мне подчеркнуть длительность? Я могу не обязательно, зачем обязательно использовать там вчера в 3 часа я использовал, я читал книгу, вот прям вот в 3. Вот я не хочу, я не помню когда, в 3 или в 3:15. Я просто длительное время читал книгу. Так, можно использовать I have been reading. Как Руслан хорошо заметил. I have been reading a book. Но have been reading показывает длительность вот этого всего действия. Но не то, что я читал. Да, читал. А может I was reading. So, you see, I was reading a book показывает какую-то точку. Вот, да, вот я тогда читал книгу. Вчера читал книгу, вчера. А вот если хочется показать растянутость процесса, I have been reading this book. То есть, когда мама спрашивает сына, ты прочитал «Мертвые души»? Он говорит, мама, I have been reading this book. Да? То есть, я уже читал, уже вот тут ваш Google вместе с мертвыми душами. Yeah? So, it has some flavor. You should always think about what do I want to say and what would I use to make it right. So, that is good. And let's go to the last part. It would be some instrument. Yeah. We have only 3 minutes, so I will be extremely quick and I will use Russian. So, эти инструменты сейчас используются очень классно, очень широко, они вам очень помогут. Google Translator, он стоит на первом месте, и сразу народ спросит, почему, боже, за что? Google Translator не раз меня подводил и бил лицом в грязь. Я вам так скажу, машинное обучение сейчас выходит на большие уже пространства, и оно уже достаточно мощное. То есть Google Translator сейчас использует машинное обучение. То есть машина, компьютер, он смотрит по переводам и по их рейтингам, что лучше используется, что чаще. Он начинает брать слова из текстов и брать их тоже туда. Поэтому Google Translator, я полагаю, в ближайшие 10 лет он избавит от работы огромное количество переводчиков. Если это случится, то, поверьте, всем переводчикам будет очень грустно. Потому что любая машина, она лучше, чем любой переводчик по умолчанию. Потому что у нее в базе данных весь язык. Поэтому не стесняйтесь. И плюс Google Search. Google Search я лично использую периодически, знаете для чего? Чтобы проверять спеллинг. То есть, если надо где-то быстро проверить, правильно ли я написал слово по букве «но», я забиваю его в поиск. Чаще всего оно там правит достаточно хорошо. So, feel free to use it. Не обязательно даже ничего открывать. Google Search вбил, оно тебе автоматом исправило, все, дальше продолжаешь. Then you have context reversal. Контекст реверса. Классная вещь. Напоминаю всем о его существовании. Контекст реверса дает вам не перевод машинный, он вам дает уже переведенный кусочек текста, выполненный ранее человеком. Если какой-то переводчик перевел и в интернет это все выложил, контекст реверса дает вам слова и выражения и предложения в контексте, то есть так, как оно уже было использовано. И это гораздо круче, потому что вы можете подбирать себе оттенки, понимать значения. Потому что когда вы видите 20 разных значений одного и того же слова и в русском переводе тоже, вы уже чувствуете, какое вам надо взять, чтобы переложить себе. Окей? Good. ABB Ylingual. Классная вещь. Это целая группа словарей, особенно хорошо подходит для специалистов. Если у нас есть юристы, адвокаты международного права, для них это вообще святой грааль, потому что ABB Ylingual, у них есть базы данных под специальные отрасли. Это вообще вот так вот, потому что специализированные виды переводов, они вообще очень жестокие, потому что нужно быть экспертом в двух вещах. И в том, в чем ты работаешь, и в английском языке тоже. Потому что специализированный язык это вообще другая тема. Поэтому ABB можно использовать, но там большинство его отделов платные. Причем платные, хорошо платные. Окей, ну как Oxford Dictionary. Don't forget about old-fashioned but steady Oxford Dictionary. Проверять в нем произношение это просто наше все. Закладочка всегда должна быть открыта, держим ее всегда, чтобы проверить и не позориться. Не знаешь точно, как читаешь. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V в Oxford Dictionary нажал, прослушал, о, идеальное чтение. Все запомнил, положил, закрыл. Плюс для high-level, поскольку мы все туда стремимся, господа, не стесняйтесь в словарях копаться не только русско-английских. Идите сразу в английскоязычный словарь. Читайте сразу это на английском языке. Слова, выражения, чтобы вы уже объяснения понимали по-английски. То есть, чтобы вы не делали двойную работу. Потому что это все равно искажение. And the last one is Яндекс Translation. Почему Яндекс Translation в конце? Потому что он объективно хуже Гугла. Почему он все-таки в этом листе есть? Потому что Яндекс, он специализирован на русскоязычную аудиторию. Google, у него куча стран, и машинное обучение у него на английском и так далее. То есть они не зацикливаются конкретно под какой-то перевод с языка на язык. Например, там им все равно испанский, итальянский, китайский, монгольский и так далее. То есть они работают везде. Яндекс Translation, поскольку он сделан в России, и они распространяются, они специализируются, они затачиваются. Вот у них иногда бывает лучше перевод русско-английский, потому что это как бы английский основной язык, на который надо переводить, с которого надо переводить. И они вот неплохо его делают, я рекомендую. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. I hope I haven't overloaded you with information. So this presentation with some updates would be available in our high-level chat and maybe in some other chats if it would be necessary. Okay, so thank you very much. Enjoy translating things. That is quite interesting business. Okay. So have a nice day then. I wish you goodbye. Bye-bye. My pleasure.